guys!
Hello, how you doing?
Right, we're back with another video, with a special video, because it's kind of a different format. This is going to be a first impressions video. Yeah. So we've done a few videos of things that we've known for years and really loved and really kind of got to grips with. Yeah. But now we're going to get something which I bought a couple of weeks ago, and Joe has never smelt at all.
I have no idea what this smells like. I'm very excited.
I mean, I'm really excited. So I think before we get into this fragrance itself, I'm just going to give you a little glimpse of that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, it's deeply sexual. Before we get into that, I think we should just say a little thing about some of the kind of the different genres of perfume. And I don't mean like oriental or floral or something like that. I mean that there are these two distinct categories of designer and niche fragrances.
So sort of markets, aren't they? Two separate.
Yeah. In terms of exactly as they're kind of marketed to different people. Yeah. So designer being a company which doesn't exclusively make perfume, like Chanel, Dior, Gucci, Saint Laurent, all those things. So
the handbag brigade.
Yeah, exactly. They make handbags and suits and things like that, and they just happen to do perfume, but the perfume's normally created completely separately. Yeah. I mean, Coco Chanel didn't make any perfumes. No. She just put a name on them.
Ernest Daltroff and people like that were doing all of those.
Exactly, yeah.
Those things back in the day.
Whereas niche generally tends to be companies which specifically do perfume. So the ones we've done so far, Imaginary Authors,
niche, super niche,
and Amouage as well. Yeah. I mean, within this niche category, you could say there are almost two more categories. One being luxury, one being indie. Yeah. So Imaginary Authors is definitely an indie one because it's quite wacky. It's not really, it's not that wacky, but
it's a tiny house, isn't it? It's a sort of he's got the room to be exploratory.
Yeah, and sometimes there are some slightly weird ideas.
Bull's blood.
Exactly. Yeah. Things like that. The City on Fire and things like that.
That's another.
But he's not going for the out-and-out luxury, whereas there are some niche luxury brands. The big one which springs to mind is Roger Dove, which is basically catering for rich Arabs going into Harrods.
Lots of crystal, lots of diamonds.
Lots of bling, and they're really good quality. But it's if you want to go and spend £500 on a bottle of perfume, that's what you buy, and it's to feel exclusive and special and things like that.
Which we sometimes smell those things, and they are wonderful. Yeah. But at the same time, we think
sometimes they're not quite as wonderful.
No.
Anyway, So we've just kind of slagged off niche there, whereas actually I would say on the whole we prefer niche because generally they're more about the perfume. A lot of designer, like for instance, if you think one of the biggest recent releases from a designer house is Sauvage by Dior or Sausage.
Sausage. It is sausage to me.
In which you've got to expect that 99% of the budget went on Johnny Depp. Yeah. And then
posters everywhere, all over the place, on buses.
1% of the budget went on what comes in the bottle.
Yeah, and Broxin.
Yeah,
it's nice. I do like it. I have to say.
It's not. I mean, it's not. It's not terrible, but it's very inoffensive. I mean, I'm sure lots of people wear it and enjoy it, but it's nothing special and it's nothing which hasn't done before. So we are more interested in kind of niche. Now, what we're about to show you is really exciting. I think it's almost the extreme of niche. This company is called Areej le Dore, and it's basically run single-handedly by a man called Russian Adam. So he's a guy who is Russian, obviously. He moved to called Adam. I mean, I presume.
He's Adam. He might not be.
And he moved to Bangkok and converted to Islam, which is a good thing to do.
And on a Tuesday if you're bored.
Yeah, I mean, why not? And he is basically obsessive about perfume, absolutely obsessive. In particular, he's really into finding the very best natural ingredients. Rather, most perfumers bulk buy them from other companies and things like that, whereas he sources and macerates and distills all his own ingredients. I mean, one of the ingredients he's particularly into is oud. If you go on YouTube and look up the channel Feel Oud, you can see clips of him, climbing through the jungles of Thailand and Cambodia and things to find this oud wood, taking it back and macerating it, distilling it.
Should we tell people a little bit about oud? I don't know if we've discussed that.
Yeah, I think we're going to be quite presumptuous with. So oud is something which has become quite popular over the last.
There's been a fad, hasn't there, the last 5 to 10 years maybe?
Yeah, which I guess started with M7.
M7. which nobody liked at the time.
No, which is now
sort of
called,
disappeared.
What's it called now? It's called
Oud Absolute.
Yeah, it's called Absolute by Yves Saint Laurent. So it was the kind of first use of oud in kind of Western perfume. What was that? 15 years, or was it longer than that?
2003 initially, I think, and then faded away, was discontinued.
But it's now becoming increasingly popular. But the version used in things like M7 is quite a polite. Westernized version of oud. So oud is if an agarwood tree gets infected, it creates this kind of resin and stuff like that, kind of sap to protect it. And it's a really, really strong, dark, musky, woody, barnyardy. At its kind of purest, it can be a little bit skanky.
We love that though.
But we love that. But skanky in the best possible way. Anyway, so I think we've been waffling a bit.
Let's smell this.
So let's jump straight in. I mean, just look at this bottle. I mean, you've got to be excited by that. If you're not excited, I don't know what's wrong. This is called Russian Oud from Russian Adam.
Very excited to smell this.
We're not going to say too much.
I've never smelled this.
Joe hasn't smelled it.
Dan, presumably you've worn this now. And
I've worn it a couple of times.
You know its many
I'm just going to...
crevices.
I'll give you a smell of even the cap. I mean, that is one of the most amazing smells.
Wow. Okay. Bloody hell. Can I swear in church?
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'll let him linger over there. So it's very difficult to say, once you own more than 100 perfumes, it's difficult to say what your favourite fragrance is. But I mean, probably my favourite fragrance up to now was another one by Russian Adam called Ottoman Empire, which is spices and florals and things like that.
Stunning fragrance.
And so, I had really, really, really high hopes on getting this. But I mean, it's completely...
I'm speechless here. I'm not saying anything else. Over to you. I'm enjoying this.
Do you want an actual spray?
Yeah, let's go.
I can't see. It's very dark in here.
Hold on. I just bring my bank manager.
We've braved the snow, but we haven't managed to work out how to put the lights on in church, so we're in a bit gloomy. But
Right, let's go. Oh, look at this.
So I mean,
wow! That is absolutely stunning.
It's. What does it smell like? It smells like very, very, very rich, dark wood. It also smells treacly, I think.
I'm actually getting honey over a hard cheese.
I know. So there is as we said before, with oud, you sometimes get this slightly skanky, barnyardy. When we say skanky, we mean it smells a bit of body odour.
Yeah, it has a little edge, but
it smells a bit like sex, doesn't it? And this, because it's combined with this woodiness and this sweetness, it's just...
I wish you could smell this. I wish you could smell this.
It's just extraordinary. But the thing is, I think what is particularly good about this is it's very barnyardy, it's very skanky, but it is, as you say, tempered by this chocolatey caramel.
There's a big cocoa enveloping coziness in the opening of this.
I mean, it's
hugely resinous.
Now, Russian Adam provides what we call a note pyramid. So a note pyramid means the kind of list of notes going from top to bottom or bottom to top. Normally, what happens is at the bottom you have a strong woody thing.
Yeah.
In the middle you
your base notes.
Yeah, which
your
are normally
sort of end of the day notes.
Could be sandalwood or something like that.
Or oud in many fragrances.
In many fragrances. And then in the middle you might have, I don't know, musk or florals or maybe some kind of peppery notes or some heavy notes. And then at the top you generally have some citrus, some light florals like this. Now, this only has 2 top notes and both of these are oud, which is absolutely ridiculous. So you start...
It's upside down already,
you start at the bottom and the top notes are this... what are they? Multi-layered choco-boral oud distilled by Russian Adam and organic Thai oud. So 2 different types of oud. And I think you definitely get a kind of chocolatey note. I'm getting
a barnyard funkiness, and I'm also getting the medicinal, very herbaceous oud at the same time.
Yeah. I think it's
feeling
not,
it.
Even though, I mean, when you spray it, it's a big smell.
Huge. One of the hugest, I think, if not the hugest.
But it's not blunt.
No,
it doesn't feel like you're just being hit by... It doesn't feel like you're being punched. It feels like you're being absolutely enveloped in a kind of sexy chocolatey caramel cushion, which is just kind of smothering you in. I'm gonna have a spray.
It's absolutely stunning. It's the Berlin Phil at full volume, but full of warmth. Isn't that amazing?
It's just, I mean...
One of the great tragedies of life is that nobody can smell this through the camera.
Yeah, I mean,
Because this is absolutely stunning.
the other thing to say about this, I mean, we keep kind of banging on about it. I think he made 200 bottles of this. It might be 250.
Tiny production.
He only sells them on his website Areej le Dore, or the Lucky Scent, which is an American online mail order fragrance website. So he's never going to sell lots. He's not looking to make lots of money. He's just trying to make the most amazing smell he can possibly make.
And I'm pretty sure so far he hasn't telephoned Johnny Depp or Angelina Jolie to ask to do a poster.
Absolutely not.
He's not into that.
I mean, and so the other...
labdanum as well.
So it's got labdanum, which is also, it's kind of a cistus flower. So labdanum is a kind of resin, but as opposed to coming from a tree where you normally get resins, it comes from this flower. You get
it's
it a lot,
weeping and
you get it a lot in Bangladesh and things like that. And goats often walk past labdanum and get it all in their beards. I'd love to have a...
Well, they love it. They have great taste.
labdanum goat beard. That'd be amazing.
We should try it. We'll get a pet goat and let people know.
But labdanum is kind of caramelly...
Yeah, that's it. Caramel.
Kind of, but it's almost kind of it's almost got a golden kind of shining quality, like a glow, hasn't it? Like a kind of halo. What else is here?
It radiates warmth.
So the other thing, I get booziness.
Yeah.
Rich kind of warm booziness. And in this comes from...
Is it rum? Is that
it's not actually rum. I think what it comes from, I don't know if you can read that, is castoreum.
Ah, castoreum.
So castoreum is...
I wondered if
it's basically beaver knackers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just from the anal secretion of a beaver.
Yeah.
If you have a beaver,
so
you
it's
can
something
try
which,
that
again, it sounds weird, but it's used a lot in perfume, and it gives a rich, kind of boozy, kind of leather. It's often used to make a leather accord.
And a slightly burnt element as well, like a sort of like a burning engine oil or something, just a very faint thing in the distance.
So the next ingredient it has is Siberian deer musk. Now, musk has been used for ages. People often say, "Oh, it smells musky." So again, this is more kind of Knackers region, isn't it? So it's from the musk gland of. It's from the gland of a musk.
The musk deer,
which you use to kind of mark its scent upon its area, I guess. And it's normally you hardly ever get real musk because it's very, very, very difficult to farm legally. But this is legally obtained real musk.
I mean, this is a huge rarity in fragrance. Now you have to go back 30, 40 years, I think, to get real musk in perfume. Like Jiki and Mouchoir and all those guys back in the turn of the century used these real nitro musks.
This is borderline kind of illegal. I mean, it is completely illegal. I mean, but it's things which, in order to obtain, you need to. They're not cost effective.
No.
To do,
but they're not cruel in any way either. This is all legally
obtained
through healthy means.
But all of these animalics, they don't smell, even though it should by right smell of piss and shit. I mean, maybe it does smell a little bit like piss and shit, but it makes this kind of real sexy kind of.
It's human somehow, isn't it? It's like the smell of a human being. We sort of mask it and say,
it's like
actually,
cuddling up to someone.
Let's smell like a freshly showered person. Actually, sometimes these elemental smells. In fact, I know what this is musically. The Rite of Spring.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's primal, isn't it?
But I think there's a bit of Wagner to it as well. That kind of overwhelming kind of breadth of kind of orgasmic.
Your Valhalla tubas.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really.
Anyway, I think we've been
stunning.
I think we've been actually. I mean, you can probably tell we're very excited about this.
We're going to go and have a beer and spray this on each other until the bottle's empty.
Yeah.
And everyone in the pub has left, I think.
So you can get. There are some samples of this about if you go to the Areej le Dore website.
Have a look. I'll be doing the same.
Or from Lucky Scent, but I think we basically wanted to tell you how excited we are because
this is stunning.
It doesn't really get much better than this.
Perfume now is actually at a cutting edge, isn't it? Because niche and designer are crisscrossing, they're diverging, and people are being more adventurous than they ever have been.
Yeah.
And I think as perfume reaches what you could consider its peak, actually there's still a huge way to go. It seems like there's no ceiling anymore. And things like this actually excite me for the future of perfumery.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like anything,
Where does it go from there?
Artisanal everything is really in vogue, isn't it? So people making their own things, and so this is a great example of somebody making his own thing and actually doing it better than anybody else. In the world.
I don't think I'm exaggerating saying that's one of the greatest perfumes I've ever smelled.
Yeah.
I really don't think I'm
mean,
exaggerating.
It's pretty tough to top, isn't it? Anyway, I think we've been very excited
We've been
about this.
restrained because
Yeah.
actually, while we've been talking to you, we've not been wearing this and smelling it.
But I think we better call it a day.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, this really is very, very, very
Stunning.
special. Smell it if you can. Happy sniffing.